Hi Nation, today we are going to be learning how to do this male adult pant. I know if that's what brought you here, then keep watching. Welcoming every returning subscriber, and if you're new here, please do subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. So these are the measurements we are working with. The waist 36, hips 45, the thigh 26, full length 39, and the ankle length 16. Okay, so first you're going to place your fabric into two, and you're going to go down at a certain point by 1.5 inch. Then you're going to connect it back to the upper part. You see the line is slanted, it's not a straight line. I took 1.5 inch. You know the body of it is not straight, especially that of male. The waist is always higher than the crotch area, so that place you're going down is actually the crotch area. So now we're taking the full length, and now 2 inches for the folding allowance. Okay, then at this point keep your tape in place, and then we are going to mark our knee, which is 20. It can either be 20, 21 or 22 depending on the height of the person you are working with. So you saw our full length, which was 39. So now I'm going to extend those lines horizontally. And now on the crotch area, I'm coming down by 10.5. You know the formula to calculate the crotch area. It is the hips divided by 4, plus or minus 1. When I say plus or minus 1, you can say plus 1 depending on the size of the person. You can say minus 1 depending on the size of the person. And now you're going to go up by 2 inch from that crotch area, and that 2 inch is going to be where you'll be measuring the hip measurement. Now take your ruler and come down from the knee point down to the full length. This ruler is approximately 2 inches. So if you don't have this ruler, you can measure out manually 2 inches from the knee point down to the full length. And you're going to mark that point out. And then now you're going to take the measurement of the thigh. On that point, you mark the crotch area. You see, remember we're working on a thigh of 26, so 26 by 2 is 13. So we are marking out our 13 inch. Remember that this is the front we are marking. This is the front part of the trouser, so we are not adding any allowance. All the sewing allowances are going to go at the back. And then on that line where I came up by 2, I marked the hip measurement. That is hip divided by 4. Now I'm using it to draw the curve. Now I'm just showing you, if you are finding it difficult to draw the curve, you can go ahead and draw a rectangle, then you'll be able to draw a curve. Or if you have your curve ruler, that will be very much easy. So I'm confirming the hip measurement, and then whatever I have for that hip point, I am marking the same thing on the waistline. You guys see that? Then I'll connect it using a straight ruler. Whatever I have on the hip line, I'm marking the same thing on the waistline. Now I'm going to go out of that line by 1/2 inch, and the reason I'm going out for this line is because that is the crotch area, and that's what we're going to be used to do our zip flap. So the allowance that we'll be folding, we're going to iron it to fold it so that our zip flap can lie flat and be beautiful. That is a 1/2 inch allowance that we need it. You find out that when some people sew trouser, you are having a twist at the level of the zip. This is to avoid that twisting, that bulging at that level of the crotch area. Now we're going to extend this flap so that we're going to use it. Some people cut it and then later on replace it, and that is so much work. Now I'm going to connect this point that I marked the ruler, which was 2 inches, and then I'm connecting it to the point where I marked my thigh measurement. Now I'm going down from the waistline by 7 inches. 7 inches, why? Because it is the pocket measurement of an average adult. You see, if we are doing this trouser for a kid, we could take 5.5, 5 or 6, but for an adult, the pocket mouth is usually 7. Now I'm going in with my ankle measurement. Remember, we're working on ankle of 16, so I'm marking 8 inch on the full length and on the folding allowance. Are you seeing what I'm doing? I'm extending the line, but making sure that I can go out by 0.5 inch. That allowance is going to help me during folding, so that I should not have folds on my trouser. I'm sorry you cannot see what I'm doing, but I'm simply connecting the line from the point where I marked the thigh down to where I'm marking the knee. That's just all I'm doing. I'm simply connecting the points. So if you have watched up to this point, guys, please do give this video a thumbs up. Please, I'm begging. So you have successfully drafted a wonderful average standard pant for an adult, a male. So this is how we are cutting. Please look at the way I am cutting. You start from this line so that if you make a mistake, you can add allowances from the other side. That's why I'm starting here. Remember to extend the full length at least 0.5 inches away, so that when you be folding, you're going to have enough allowances to fold and you will not be twisting. You see the way I'm cutting this flap? I'm not cutting off the entire flap. I want this flap to go up and enter the band so that it will be very neat and clean. And look at how I'm cutting the crotch area. Carefully cut it, because if you make a mistake here, there's going to be a lot of catastrophe on the trouser. You know how male trousers are delicate, especially at that level of the crouch. You know, that's where they are. Okay, thank you. So now we are going to fold the remaining piece of our fabric, and in order to manage the fabric, we're going to place the front piece facing the other part. Remember, our downer part was the left, and now our upper part is on the right. That is just so that we can manage the material. Guys, everything I was doing here was off camera and I didn't notice it. I was so mad. But the good thing is that I have a better shot where I'm going to explain to you everything that I did here, and there's nothing you're not going to understand. I thought I was capturing this, not until I finished just to realize I wasn't capturing that. So as you can see, first and foremost, I extended the knee line, the thigh line, and the full length line, and then I came out from each of them by 2 inches, but on the crotch area I came out by 3 inches. That's all I did there. Now I'm going to come up here by 1.5. Now, if the person you are doing the trouser for is very big, you can come out by 2 inches. But averagely, we come out here by 1.5 inch. You come up by 1.5 inch, you know, because of the buttocks, yes. And then you are going to extend that line to the other part of the trouser where you've not added nothing. Now we're measuring our actual waist measurement, which divided by 4 is 8, and then plus 2 inch allowance for joining. Remember, I told you that all the allowances we are going to be adding only on the back piece. Now kindly lift up the zip flap like that and connect it to this point, because that's where you'll be drawing the back crouch area. Do you see that? Now if you have a curve ruler, you're going to use it to curve this place, but I like freehand because it never fails me, and it's okay. So on this part we are cutting exactly, on the other part we are cutting the exact measurement, but on this part we have added 2 inches at the level of the full length, 2 inches at the level of the knee, and 3 inches at the level of the crouch or the thigh area. Okay, that's all we have done, and we have extended the waistline at the level of the crouch by 1.5 inch. So we are just going to cut that out just the way it is. And you can see from at the back area, I also at the ankle area, I also extended that full length, so that will help me to the ankle measurement, right, of the folding allowance, so that when I'm folding it's not going to give me a lot of troubles. So you're just going to cut it now. And if you're asking me why we extended the crotch area by 3, I'll tell you that that's the standard measurement. For a little child, you can do 2.5. But for an adult, you do 3. And if the person you're sewing for is too fat, you can go by 3.5. So you have successfully drafted and cut out the male trouser. So guys, thanks for watching. See you in my next one.